I had to get comfy because we're gonna do a lot of talking. I'm a little nervous to do this. I don't know why. I guess a lot has happened since I last sat down and had a Q&A, which is exactly what this is. I'm doing a huge life update for you guys. You guys want to know my relationship status, how I've been dealing with grief, how I make money, if I'm moving, all that fun jazz. So I'm gonna get into all of it. I'm gonna answer the questions I've been avoiding. I'm gonna answer questions that maybe you guys didn't even know you wanted answers to. So without further ado, let's get into this Q&A. Do you have your own house or apartment? Currently, at this exact moment of time, 4:26 in the afternoon, January 21st, I do not have my own place, but on January 28th, at about 6:52 p.m. Hawaii time, I will have my own place. I'm basically moving to Hawaii for 2 months and I'm so excited. I have a beautiful home that I'm renting all on my own, so I technically will have my own house in Hawaii. So stay tuned for Hawaii content because that is going to be a fun 2 months full of adventure and good times and good people. When I'm back from Hawaii, that's when I'm super conflicted because one of my biggest goals for 2022 is to get a place of my own. I kind of want to get a fixer-upper and do a whole DIY renovation series on my YouTube and then possibly like rent it out on Airbnb for when I'm traveling. But at the same time, I really want to buy a camper van and do like a whole flip on it and basically build out the inside into a tiny home and then travel cross country and then do a whole series on that on YouTube. What do you guys think I should do? Because you guys are gonna be watching the journey with me. What would you rather see? I have a feeling you guys are gonna say van and I have a feeling I want to do the van too. How do you shave or wax for bikini? Please, nobody answers this. Alright, so I guess we're gonna get a little bit personal a little bit quickly. 1, I use a men's razor, Gillette. They're much better than women's. 5 blade. 2, I exfoliate before I shave. Helps get rid of any dead skin and makes it for a nice cleaner canvas. 3, I actually use conditioner instead of like oils or shaving cream. I find it is a lot easier to shave with and also it moisturizes your skin at the same time. 4, I will use a dry brush after the shower once I'm dried. And then 5, I don't do this every time I shave my hoo-ha, but I do sometimes and I know it always helps. I have the Kiehl's aftershave lotion, or you can even just use baby oil and you put that on afterwards and it makes sure it's super nice and moisturized and it feels great. Speaking of my hoo-ha, the next question is what's my body count? I'm not going to disclose that answer specifically, but I have had 2 boyfriends and I am almost 20 years old. I will say that much. Moving on. Alright, so the next question is, how much do you make on average in a month as an influencer? This is really personal and I honestly hate talking money as in like how much I make with people, but I did say I was going to be honest with you guys. I have made up to about 20,000 a month, but I've also made as little as like 700 a month. It really depends on my consistency, brand deals, and how good my engagement is, so that obviously varies quite often, and so does my income. Please talk about your weight loss journey, if you're comfortable, of course. A lot of you guys asked if I have any problems with food, any kind of eating disorders, and I don't. I have a very healthy relationship with food. I love food, maybe a little bit too much if anything. I'm just going to be as honest as I can. In the first photo that you see, I was eating non-stop when that photo was taken. I was dating a very, very talented cook. Amazing food, but I was eating so much of his food because it was so yummy that I was just overeating. And I was also snacking throughout the day, so I just wasn't maintaining a healthy portion size to foods, and I also just wasn't eating the healthiest of foods at the same time. So I decided to cut back on my portions, not unhealthily smaller portions, but just the right amount. I tried to eat healthier. I got a lot more greens in my diet. I stopped snacking, which was a huge thing for me. I had some help, I guess, from getting sick. I had COVID, which I ended up losing like 5 pounds from that. And then I had the flu really bad, which I ended up losing 5 pounds from that. And to be entirely honest, I didn't really work out. And you're probably thinking like, Marla, like, how did you get toned? How did you actually lose the weight if you weren't working out? I didn't have the time to work out because I was like on back-to-back trips. But one thing I did make sure of, all those trips that I went on, I was able able to, you know, stay active and do outdoor activities, whether it was hiking or swimming in the ocean or walking around a city or whatever it may be. I made sure the trips that I was going on, I was always outside and I wasn't just lazying around. I was very active, and in a sense that is sort of working out. But I also have been very blessed with like an athletic build. I did varsity swimming for 6 years of my life, and that really gave me an amazing base to my body. I don't know if that makes sense when I say it, but that was my weight loss journey per se. Also, this kind of ties in to my next question. Obviously, a breakup always helps with the way you look. You know, everyone always says it's the post-breakup glow, which, like I said, ties into my next question. What happened with you and Trevor? Yes, me and Trevor, we broke up in October of 2021, so about 4 months ago. And I don't really need to like go into detail, but what I will say is that we are still friends. We're on good terms. I have absolutely zero hate towards him. He has absolutely zero hate towards me. Nothing bad happened. I guess just, you know, long distance was really hard. And I don't know, it's just, it wasn't like the right time for us. You know, I still have a lot of love and respect for him, and we are friends. So that is all I will say on that, because there's not really much to it. So yeah, moving on. How do you afford to travel so much? I'm actually going to make a way more in-depth video on this with my brother, who has traveled like 20 times as much as I have, and he knows a lot more about good ways to travel affordably. But the biggest and number one thing I would say, whether you already do this or you haven't started yet, is stick to loyalty companies. And what that is like stick to a certain hotel chain or airline company. For example, I always fly American, regardless of where I'm going, even if it may be a little bit more expensive of a flight. And for hotels, I will always stay in a Marriott hotel. And I have been doing this along with my entire family since probably I was born. By doing that, you rack up awards points and airline miles. So when you do come around to a trip that would be more expensive, you can spend airline miles instead of thousands of dollars on a flight. Or you can spend your Marriott or your hotel points on a week-long stay instead of spending thousands of dollars to stay in a hotel for a week. What are some unusual goals you have? I have quite a few. I want to try and get as many certifications and licenses as I possibly can. My real estate license, I want to get the most high-level certification of scuba diving you can get. I want to get my pilot's license. I want to get my skydiving license. When I turn 21, I want to become like a sommelier in wine, which I know is like a very long, tedious process. Maybe not a sommelier because that's like ridiculous, but there's another type of wine license or certification you can get. I want to get a van, like I said, and I want to hit every single state. I want to visit every single 195 sovereign countries before I die. So I'm going to put these two questions together in one. What's your biggest insecurity? And tell us a secret. I did have a big insecurity, and I guess my biggest secret or a secret would be that I got to take care of it, and I may or may not, I probably will, because I like, you know, I want to be honest with you guys, post a video on it to further explain what I mean by that. I don't want to go into a lot of detail though for this video, because it would literally take up the entire video if I tried to explain it to you. I mean, can you guys guess what I had done? Stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you want to see my journey. Are you in a new relationship? I am not at all. I am single. I am me. I'm focusing on myself, and I'm so happy doing that. I'm just, you know, enjoying my 20s because I turned 20 in like 2 weeks. I'm enjoying my soon-to-be 20s. I would have beaten teen pregnancy, and I want to celebrate that by being single. What are you most excited to do in Hawaii? Honestly, I would say live on my own. Like, have my own place. I'm gonna have friends staying with me, obviously, while I'm there. I'm gonna have friends over while I'm there. It's not like I'm gonna be, like, completely living on my own, but, you know, having a place that I can call my own and take care of it and kind of be like an adult. So I guess the thing I'm most excited for is kind of like having my own rules. I'm gonna be an adult and you can't tell me what to do. No, okay, so one of my mom's biggest things, she's sitting right here on the floor watching me film this. One of my mom's biggest things is always making sure I get home safe from a night out.
God help me.
And mind you, guys, you're gonna be up all night because it's a 6-hour difference. Like, she's gonna be up and be messaging me at like 3, 4, 5 a.m. Hi. Hey, are you home? I love you. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened? In 6th grade, I went to this country club down in the Florida Keys, and me and my friend were in the pool, and we were playing this game where we go underwater and we hum a song, and then we have to like guess what the person was humming. And so we're doing this. Oh my god. I can't even believe I'm saying this like out loud. Oh my goodness. I'm laughing so hard. I pooed myself in the pool, but it wasn't like a full-blown poop and it wasn't like a shart. It was like a small little pebble. And I'm like, fuck. I just pooped in the country club pool. But it was like in my bathing suit still. And mind you, I'm wearing a white bathing suit and I can't just like prance on out of the pool because it'll look like I have a load in my diaper. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, Christine. That was my friend's name that I was with. I go, Christine, let's play a game. Let's see how long you can hold your breath for. And she's like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So she starts holding her breath and I'm like trying to like come up with this game plan while she's like underwater, like trying her best not to breathe. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. Basically, oh my god. Mind you, I was in 6th grade. This is a long time ago. I reach into my bathing suit, I grab the pebble, and I launch it as far as I can into the bushes. But mind you, it's like flying over people. It's flying like on the people like tanning on the bed, and who knows, there's probably like residue flying off the... There's some guy, there's a waiter with like the cups. Thank god it did not land in one of the cups, but it like flew right past his head and went into the bushes. Thank god my plan was executed properly and it went into the bushes like I planned, but I cannot believe I did that. It is so embarrassing. And now you guys know. Now for the number one question I was asked. I have been asked this question for almost 2 years now, and I always avoided the question, and that is Lucas. There's so many different types of questions that you guys want to know that pertains to him, so I'm just gonna say Lucas and try and answer all your guys' questions. Do you think you are still grieving Lucas? You know, he was my first love, and more than anything, he was my best friend. So, you know, I still get sad and I still grieve his loss. I feel like I always will. It was really hard, you know? Grief is super real, and it's long lasting, you know? This, like, I don't know, it's hard. This is personal, but you know, I've had a series of dreams with Lucas, more like moments, and they were so real, and basically it was us two having a conversation where he told me he was in heaven, and he told me he had never been happier, and that he told me that like I'm okay, you know, to live my life and not hold anything back because of him. And he told me to fall in love again, and he told me to just go out and experience life. Those conversations brought me so much peace, because even though it may be a dream, I do feel like it truly was Lucas talking to me and me talking to Lucas. And that doesn't mean like I don't get sad about him still, but you know, I have found a lot of peace in the whole situation, and I know he's in a better place, and like he said himself, I know he's happier than ever. You know, and I know he's in heaven, and I know he's my guardian angel, and he's looking out for me, and for, you know, everything that comes at me, he will protect me. Alright, I think I answered a pretty abundant amount, oh my god, my back hurts. So I think I answered a pretty abundant amount of questions, especially questions that you guys have been dying to know. I am going to be posting one video a week on YouTube. I'm sticking to it. You know, we're off to a good start so far. So comment down below what kind of YouTube videos you guys would like to see, what kind of content you would see. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I don't know, I feel like we like bonded a little bit. So here's to 2022, and here's to me leaving in exactly a week from today to Hawaii. So peace, love, and blessings.